Good morning, dear children. Today, our topic will be tense. We have already discussed in our virtual class. So, we have discussed the thought that beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. So, today we come to our topic, that is tense. Tenses is the topic for today. What do we mean by tense? I explained to you. Before that, we will come to the content. The content speaks about the introduction, then classification based on time frame, third classification based on aspect, next block diagram of tenses, list of rules, and simple present tense with examples. So children, in introduction we will learn what do we mean by tense. With a classification based on time, we will divide the tenses into different parts. Then we will divide each tense on the basis of its aspects. Then we will learn the block diagram of tense. Then there are few rules what rule to follow in order to construct a proper sentence. Then today we are only deal with simple present tense. Then examples. So here is the introduction. What do we mean by tense? The word tense comes from the Latin word tempus, which means time. So in a word, if I say what do we mean by tense, we say that by tense we mean time, when that action is being done. Okay, so that is derived by the tense. Based on time, the tense can be divided into three categories. First is the present tense, then past tense, then future tense. So present tense means on the basis of time, if we say these are the tenses, so we in simpler words we can say it's now, yesterday and tomorrow. So now is the present, yesterday is past and tomorrow is future. Present tense. What do present tense express? Present tense expresses unchanging, repeated or reoccurring action or situation that exists only now. It can also represent a widespread truth. So what does it mean that present tense talks about something which never changes? For example, the sun rises in the east. This is a truth which will never change. So this comes in present tense. Again, repeated action. Action which you repeat every day, that becomes your habitual action. Present tense also talks about habitual action. And finally, it expresses the widespread truth. So widespread truth is also speaking the same thing which is unchanging. Like the river flows under the bridge. Clear? We are not going to deal with past and future tense now. We will deal only with present tense. Now, based on aspect, we can divide the tenses, each tenses into four parts. Simple or indefinite, continuous or progressive, perfect or complete, and perfect continuous. Now, first of all, let us understand what do you mean by aspect. Aspect refers to the nature of action which the verb is doing. That means whether the verb is still working or whether the verb works every day in this way, or whether the verb had finished its work, or whether the verb had started the work in the past and is still doing the work. So, what the nature of the action of the verb is, the nature of the action which is described of the verb is known as the aspect. Clear? Now we come to indefinite or simple tense. The three indefinite tense means present indefinite tense, past indefinite tense and future indefinite tense. Or simple tenses describe an action, but they do not state whether the action is finished or not. So it simply states that about the action. It does not go into the depth that whether the action is over or not. Continuous tense says that from the word itself we can understand that it is continuing. It has not stopped, it's not over. So continuous tense describes an unfinished action. Perfect tense describes a finished action. And perfect continuous tense, to combine the complete tenses and the incomplete tenses to describe an action which was in progress and then finished. So perfect continuous tense means something which had started in the past and had finished in the present. It was in progress and now it has finished. Clear? See, this is the block diagram. The block diagram defines the four types of each of the three tenses, like verb, like past tense, present tense and future tense. Again, each of these tenses are having four types, like past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, continuous. Similarly, present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. And finally, future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous. Now, simple present. What do we describe in simple present? In simple present, we describe habits. Habitual action, I told. I always drink coffee at work. She gets up at 7 a.m. every day. They usually eat dinner at home. So these words always, usually, these words are used to show habitual action. Then something which is true in the present. He works on Wall Street. She is 60 years old. We live in New York. So these are something true facts which are true in the present. Now, general truths or universal truths we can say. Earth is not flat. Sun rises in the east, water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. So these are few general truths, few universal truths which can never change. And we also use present tense for some schedules, like my train arrives tomorrow. We fly to Paris on Monday. Classes begin next week. So these four are the places where we use simple present tense. We are not going to do past tense or future tense. This is just a diagram interpretation of the three types of tenses. Now we come to simple present tense in detail. This we have already done, what a simple present tense is used for. This also we have done, children, that simple present tense is used to express habitual action, general truth and action in general time. Simple present tense generally uses words like always, usually, often, sometimes or never. Okay. Now we come to rule. In simple present tense, the rule goes like this. With singular verb, singular subject, we start with the subject plus first form of the verb plus s or es plus object. And in the plural, it is the plural subject plus first form of the verb plus object. S or es is not added. In the negative sentence with the singular form of the subject, we use does not plus first form of the verb plus object, and with plural subject we use do not plus first form plus object. And in the interrogative sentences, we start with the question word does in case of singular subjects and do in case of plural subjects. This we will not do as it is the simple present. So these are the examples. If we take Mary feeds her dog, now we can see the negative. Mary does not feed her dog. Does Mary feed her dog? This will be the interrogative. Peter enjoys the food. Peter does not enjoy the food. Does Peter enjoy the food? So these are the sentences. Tim always cooks the dinner. Tim never cooks the dinner. Does Tim cook the dinner? Okay. Tim watches TV every night. Tim does not watch TV every night. Or Tim never watches TV. Then, does Tim watch TV every night? So in this way, you will have to change the assertive sentences into negative or interrogative. Okay. Now here we come with some plural subjects like I want a new pen. I do not want a new pen. Do I want a new pen? So please go through the sentences properly, children. Past and future we won't do. That's all with the explanation. I hope you have understood. In case any problem, please do ask me.